So, the inflammatory bowel disease. Today's topic is uh, what does the inflammatory bowel disease include? It includes a group of chronic disorders that cause inflammation or ulceration in the large and small intestine. Then here you can see in this figure. And there are two major types. One is the Crohn disease, and the other one is the ulcerative colitis. So the Crohn disease it extends into the deeper layers of the intestinal wall and may affect the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and small intestine, but also can be in the large intestine. Transmural inflammation and skip regions are the characteristic of Crohn disease. In 50% cases, this is the ileopolic, 30% ileal, and 20% colic. It is also called regional enteritis, while the ulcerative colitis it causes ulceration and inflammation of the inner lining of the colon and rectum, that is usually the mucosa and the submucosa. They usually in the form of ulcers are open sores and mostly involve the large. There are other forms of inflammatory bowel disease like collagenous colitis, lymphocytic colitis, ischemic colitis, and infectious colitis. Epidemiologically, if we see that ulcerative colitis and Crohn disease, the incidence per 100,000, the ulcerative colitis is 2.2 to 14.3, while the Crohn disease is 3.1 to 14.6. Age of onset in the ulcerative colitis it is usually the younger patient 15 to 30 years, while in the Crohn disease it is 60 to 80 years. With ethnicity and Jews have more inflammatory bowel disease. Male to female ratio almost there is no big difference, but slightly. Crohn disease is more in the females. Smoking in the ulcerative colitis may prevent, but in the Crohn disease it is a causative factor. Oral contraceptive have no risk in the ulcerative colitis, while in the Crohn disease it is 1.4% risk. Previous appendectomy is protected in ulcerative colitis, while not in the Crohn disease. Then monozygotic individual, they have a 6% chances, while in the Crohn disease they have a 58% chances to develop. Then dizygotic has 0%, while in the Crohn disease they have percent. The exact cause is unknown. There are certain genetic factors, immunological factors, microbial factors, and cytosol factors. As far as the genetic factors are concerned, the ulcerative colitis is more common in DR2 related genes. Crohn disease is more common in DR5 DQ1 alleles. There is 3 to 20 times higher incidence in first degree relatives. As far as immunological factors are concerned, the defective regulation of immunosuppression, that means the activated CD4 cells activate other inflammatory cells like macrophages and B cells are recruit more inflammatory cells by stimulation of homing receptors on leukocytes and vascular epithelium. Microbial factors, the gastrointestinal tract contains trillions of bacteria that help digest our foods. They are good germs. However, infection with bad germs such as Salmonella and Campylobacter have been associated with a greater risk of IBD. Both types of bacteria can be ingested through contaminated food and they are responsible for thousands of cases of food poisoning each year. As far as social factors are concerned, there is a conflicting research as to whether the specific eating habits are associated with greater risk of IBD or not. One Japanese study reported an increased risk of Crohn disease for women who consume a lot of protein, particularly from animal products. And other studies have reported a possible link of high fat and high sugar. As for the pathogenesis of IBD is concerned, you can see in this picture the tolerance tolerated inflammation in the normal gut, the environmental triggers like infection, acids, they can cause acute healing, this acute inflammation can be complete healing or it can lead to a chronic inflammation. Now we will discuss in detail the ulcerative colitis. First we will see the macroscopic feature in the ulcerative colitis. Usually it involves the rectum and extends proximally to involve all or part of the colon. Spread is in continuity, may be limited, colitis, proctitis and proximatis only. In total colitis there is a backwash ileitis. Then if the disease is mild, there is erythema and sandpaper appearance. There is a fine granularity you can see. In the moderate there is a marked erythema, there is a coarse granularity and contact bleeding and no ulceration. But in severe, Spontaneous bleeding, edematous and ulcerated lesions are there. Long-standing epithelial regeneration so produce the pseudocolic mucosal atrophy, and this orientation leads to a precancerous condition. Eventually, can lead to shortening and narrowing of the colon as well. As for the microscopic features of concern, there are crypt atrophy and irregularity, superficial erosion are there, there is a diffuse mixed inflammation and basal lymphoplasma cytosis. You can see here the pseudopolyp, here ulcerative colitis that involve only the mucosa and some of the mucosa. Then clinical features of ulcerative colitis, they are diarrhea, rectal bleeding, tenesmus, passage of mucus and crampy pain. Then diarrhea and bleeding, blood intermittent and mild. Do not seek medical attention. Usually, patient with bronchitis pass fresh or blood-stained mucus will form or semi-formed stools. They also have a tenesmus, urgency with feeling of incomplete evacuation. While with the bronchitis, usually the patient have a constipation, severe disease, liquid stool with blood, pus, and physical signs. They are the proctitis, that is the tender anal canal and blood on rectal examination, extensive disease tenderness on palpation of the colon, while the toxic colitis can lead to severe pain and bleeding if formulation signs of peritonitis are there. Clinical severity of the ulcerative colitis. It is a mild, moderate, severe, and fulminant. In the mild, the bowel movement usually are less than 4, in severe more than 6, and fulminant more than 10. Blood in the stool, intermittent, frequent, and continuous. Temperature normal in the mild, severe 37.5, and like this. Pulse normal in the severe and fulminant, it increases. Hemoglobin level decrease as in the mild, moderate, and severe. ESR less than 30 in the mild, while it is more than 30 in the severe and fulminant. Clinical sign, abdominal tenderness is there in the severe and fulminant colitis. As far as lab tests are concerned, C-reactive protein are increased, ESR is increased, platelet count increased, hemoglobin decreased, fecal calprotectin level correlate with the histological inflammation, and predict labs and detect. If we go for the barium enema, you can see the fine mucosal granularity with superficial ulcer seams, colon, button ulcers are there, pipe stem appearance, loss of oscillation, narrow and sharp colon with ribbon controlled colon. Even with the sigmoidoscopy, this is always abnormal, loss of vascular pattern, granularity may be there, friability and ulceration. The complication of the ulcerative colitis, they are not only in the gut, and they are in the gut. There are main four complications. That is, it can lead to stricture formation, it can lead to perforation, it can cause bleeding and cancer. And the extracolonic complications are in the eyes, mouth, kidneys, liver, military, joint, skin, and circulation. And you can see in this picture as now, the Crohn disease, the macroscopic features of the Crohn disease, that it can affect any part of the GIT, but mainly it affects the eye, ileocecal nerves. Transmural, it is transmural, involves the whole thickness of the lumen of the gut. Segmental with skip lesions, these and cobblestone appearance with creeping fat lesions and fistula. These are the differentiating features from the Crohn and of the Crohn and ulcerative colitis, and they can be asked in the exam as well. And definitely they will be. As far as microscopic features are concerned, there are aphthous, ulcers, focal, crypt, abscesses are there, granuloma is pathognomonic of Crohn disease. Some mucosal are subserosal lymphoid aggregates are there, transmural with fissure formation. Clinical features, iron Crohn disease is usually present with abdominal pain, diarrhea, weight loss, and low grade fever, while jejunopharyngitis with malabsorption and metonia. Lab test same C-reactive protein may be elevated, ESR elevated, leukocytosis may be there, anemia and hypoalbuminemia may be there. If we go for the colonoscopy radiography, the barium enema in CT scan, this is the video picture of the uh, uh, Crohn disease. You can see the scaling there. While in the CT scan there are neural hyper and enhancement, stratification, ingold, vasa recta, and perienteric inflammatory changes may be there. We can go for the colonoscopy and see the diagram. Now, this is the same intestinal complication. Here, the fistula, stricture, perforation, abscess formation, and lastly the cancer are there. So, fistula and abscess formation are more in the Crohn disease than ulcerative colitis. Now, we will chart out the differences between the Crohn disease and ulcerative colitis, the clinical features. We will see the sites of involvement, the endoscopic finding, the histological finding. As far as the clinical features are concerned, the diarrhea in Crohn disease it is a fairly common, and the ulcerative colitis is a very common. Rectal bleeding, Crohn disease fairly common, while the ulcerative colitis is very common. Site of involvement: ileum and colon in 50% of the patient in Crohn disease, while it is very rare, never in the ulcerative colitis. And then ileum 30% of the patient in the ulcerative colitis, never colon 20% of the patient, but exclusively ulcerative colitis has colonic involvement. Upper parts of the GIT infrequent and ulcerative colitis never. Endoscopic finding: discontinuous lesion, that is a skip lesion, cobblestone, aphthous and linear ulceration with strictures, while in the ulcerative colitis, continuous lesion with pseudopolyformation. Histological finding: transmural inflammation of the wall, while in the ulcerative colitis, mucosal and submucosal inflammation. Treatment goals in the inflammatory bowel disease, they are to improve patient, avoid the remission, then disease weaning, maintenance of remission, and maintain tissue healing that needs to cure. As far as treatment is concerned, we have to change the diet, we have to change the lifestyle, drugs are there, and surgery. Drugs. Five amino salicylic acid agents, they are the first line of treatment in the inflammatory bowel disease. Then we can apply the glucocorticoids and give the antibiotics symptomatically with immunosuppressants. So, in mild to moderate ulcerative colitis and Crohn disease, 5 amino salicylic acid is given. It will maintain the remission and may reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. The adverse effects of 5-ASA are nausea, headache, gastric, epigastric pain, diarrhea, hypersensitivity, and pancreatitis. So we should be cautious in the renal impairment and pregnancy and breastfeeding. Glucocorticoids, anti-inflammatory agents for moderate to severe relapses we give, and inhibition of inflammatory pathway with prednisolone 40 to 60 milligram per day. There is no role in maintenance therapy for glucocorticoid. Antibiotics has no role in active and acute ulcerative colitis. Metronidazole is effective in acute and inflammatory fistula and variants. Crohn disease, dose is 15 to 20 milligram per kg in 3 divided doses. You can give ciprofloxacin as well and rifaximin. Immunosuppressant drugs can be applied like cyclosporine, methotrexate, thiopurines. The other medications are antidiarrheal, laxating, if we can, if we need pain reliever, acetaminophen, and iron supplements to compensate the HP in good nutrition. Surgery. Surgery indication for the surgeries are fulminating disease, chronic disease with anemia, frequent stool, urgency and tenesmus, steroid dependent disease, risk of neoplastic change, extra intestinal manifestation, and severe hemorrhage or stenosis. In the ulcerative colitis, reconstructive procedures are proctocolectomy with ileoanal pouch formation or proctocolectomy and ileostomy. Rectal and anal dissection can be done and colectomy with ileorectal anastomosis. So these are different diseases. In Crohn's disease, we do the ileocecal resection or segmental resection, colectomy and ileorectal anastomosis, temporary bucoleostomy, proctocolectomy are only stricto